Welcome to This Week, Those Books, which is read by more than 8,000 subscribers in 104 countries. It's March 20th, 2024. The big story is the world's very first nuclear energy summit. It shows renewed global momentum for nuclear power as a clean source of energy. The summit comes after more than a decade of doubts about the safety of nuclear power plants. It was 13 years ago this month that Japan suffered the Fukushima disaster, the worst accident at a nuclear power plant since Chernobyl in 1986. Public opinion worldwide is increasingly in support of nuclear power, and even Japan is stepping up efforts to restart a nuclear power plant, the world's biggest, north of Tokyo. Meanwhile, big tech is buying into nuclear power literally. In early March, Amazon Web Services, the tech giant's cloud computing unit, acquired a nuclear-powered data center in Pennsylvania. The backstory is that the Fukushima nuclear accident adversely affected international confidence in nuclear power. In the immediate aftermath, Germany, Belgium, and Switzerland decided to phase out nuclear power, and Italy voted against restarting its nuclear program. But several countries, including South Africa, Bangladesh, Egypt, Jordan, Nigeria, Poland, Vietnam, and the UAE, either continued with plans to introduce nuclear power or add to existing programs. This first book is romancing the atom, nuclear infatuation, from the Radium Girls to Fukushima by Robert R. Johnson. This brief history of nuclear science is by a professor of rhetoric, composition, and technical communication at Michigan Technological University. Robert R. Johnson tells a compelling story, starting with how everyone on Earth has been somehow romanced by the atom, from Undark, the radioactive luminescent paint that made the numbers of watch and clock dials visible in the dark, to uranium bombs and nuclear power. This is an inventory of things atomic. Each has its appeal, and each has its hazards. The second book is The Sky Unwashed by Irene Zabaitko. Ukrainian-American writer Irene Zabaitko's debut novel depicts the aftermath of the 1986 nuclear power plant catastrophe at Chernobyl. Inspired by the real-life story of people who defied the forced evacuation of their Ukrainian town, the book revolves around the stubborn determination of one woman to reclaim her home despite a nuclear accident. Marusha Pachenko, a widow, lives in Starilis village with her son Yurko and his young family. Yurko and his wife Zozia both work at the Chernobyl nuclear plant. When disaster strikes, Marusha stays on in Starlis to tend Yurko, who is sickened by radiation poisoning. Though Starlis is rendered a dead zone and declared uninhabitable due to radiation, Marusha battles to return home, eventually replanting her garden and ringing the bell in the abandoned village church. Thank you for listening. I'll be back next week with the latest This Week, Those Books.